So I've had a request for some ankle strength and some plantar fasciitis. Plus I've got a few clients dealing with it right now. So just a few ideas of things you can do at home. So here I've got an elevated platform. Now this is off of my reformer, it's my reformer extension, but if you don't have one of these, just a thin piece of wood. So you could use a 2x4, you would just need something to hold on to. So or you can even do it on the base of the stairs, on the edge of the stairs. So feet are in parallel, balls of the toes are connected. I've just got a stick for balance, and then just lowering the heels so you're getting that calf stretch, and then lifting the heels. So the first set, I want to do it with my knees straight. So inhale as I lower, exhale as I lift. And you're just trying to get that nice stretch into the calves. And depending on how stiff those ankles are, you might not have a lot of range of motion. Or for me, what tends to happen is my feet want to work out into external rotation. So really trying to work and stay in parallel is actually challenging because that's where I lack my ankle flexion. But I would do it here, and then keep your knees slightly bent. And then same thing, try to drop the heels and then lift the heels, but still trying to keep the knees slightly bent. What it does is it changes which layer of muscles you're working as you do it. We've got our gastrocs and our soleus. And when we do that, we're changing which calf muscle we're stretching. So trying to keep the knees bent as you lower and lift. And then you can also do it in the external rotation. For me, this is really easy because that's where my ankle wants to go. So lowering and lifting with straight legs. And it's just going to stretch out a different portion of the calves again. Still keeping all the balls of the toes connected to the surface. And then as well as doing it with the knees bent. So knees are slightly bent, and then I'm trying to drop the heels and lift the heels. And I do find this a little bit more challenging because my soleus is tighter than my gastroc. So trying to keep those knees slightly bent as I drop the heels and lift the heels. So working on strengthening the calf, the ankle joint, as well as creating a little bit of mobility through the ankle. Something you can also do for your foot strength, and this is commonly given by a physiotherapist, is trying to curl or pull the towel with your toes. So I'm trying to pull the towel in with the bottom of my feet. Also, a little routine. This would be a little bit more common to dancers, but very beneficial in balance and in ankle mobility. So doing a slight knee bend, you want to keep your pelvis neutral, lift the heels, balls of the toes are connected, rise up, and then lower the heels. Again, bend the knee, so I'm going for the ankle flexion, lift the heels, rise up, and lower. Bend, lift, rise up, and lower. We also do the reverse. So lift the heels, bend the knees, keeping your balance, keeping your pelvis in neutral, lower the heels, and rise up. Lift, bend, lower, rise up. Lift, bend, lower, rise up. And I do about 5 in each direction. I find it's a nice warm-up for my feet. So these exercises are focusing more on plantar fasciitis. The sole of the foot tends to be quite inflamed and very sensitive. So sometimes just doing a little bit of light rolling with a ball. So if you have like a softball, a lot of people like to use the lacrosse ball, but I would say it's a little bit too firm. You want to have a little bit of a give so that the ball will squish and spread underneath the foot. So having it underneath the balls of the toes, just doing circles. So you're just kind of rolling the ball across the balls of your toes, trying to massage out the tissue right where they join at the base of those toes. I also also will keep the heel down on the floor and then do a little bit of ankle flexion. And I'm trying to really encourage the ankle joint to bend, because commonly there's a stiffness through that ankle up into the Achilles. And you can do that with a bent leg or a straight leg, and then that would change the portion of the calf that you would stretch. And then in general, I just roll the length of the foot, and I kind of work my way from the inner arch to the outer arch. And I really like to work on that outside portion of the foot. For me, that's where I'm tight. And then after you've done that 5 or 6 times, do some circles underneath the heel. So you're doing circles underneath the heel. And then you're going to put the balls of your toes on the floor and then press the heel into the ball. So it should feel like it's pushing up into the base of your arch. So it's almost like pumping up your air mattress, but slow and controlled. We don't want to go crazy. And then a few simple exercises that you can do. Feet about hip width apart. Just lifting your toes up and spreading your toes. And I call it playing the piano, slowly placing one toe at a time down onto the floor. So then again, lifting the toes up, really trying to spread them, give them that stretch. And then you place one toe at a time back down to the floor. You lift up and then place one toe at a time back down to the floor. And then another nice simple exercise you can do just to strengthen the foot is weight shifting, but your feet should never leave the floor. So your weight shifts to the outsides of your feet, which it should feel like the inner arch is lifting up. My toes are still connected. My big toes haven't lifted off the floor. I've just shifted the weight to the outside of my foot, creating that arch, and then shifting the weight in. So you might notice there's a change in my legs, a little bit of rotation in the thighs. That's okay. That should happen. We should have some rotation at the hips and the knees, but we don't want to lock our knees. That's where you have to be careful. Sometimes if you're concentrating really hard, your knees will lock back. We want to try and keep those knees soft and just get that weight shift from the inside of the foot to the outside of the foot. And a lot of people will feel this in their hips and in their glutes. And at the same time, you're maintaining that nice neutral posture. And then another way you can do it, both feet shift to the right, both feet shift to the left. Notice my body's going to shift a little bit more, but again, my toes are staying connected to the floor. And it's going to activate different muscles up my legs, into my pelvis, but I really want to feel the muscles into my feet. So really, you can do it with socks on. You just want to be able to feel your floor. So carpet is sometimes nice because you can kind of feel the textures of the carpet. A lot of people like to do these kinds of exercises barefoot, so they have more sensory. And you're just trying to get those feet more dexterous. You want them to move around a bit more. Flexibility in the feet is really important for balance.